Hey everyone, today I'll be showing you how I pushed the Diamond League in the new Merge Tactics using heavily underleveled cards. We're in the first match here with the modifier 4 stars. So normally everyone shares a pool of cards with 4 copies of each. So for example, if I buy 2 princesses and my opponent buys 2 princesses, neither of us can get any more. What this does is increase the pool to 8 copies, making it possible to get a 4 star if you get all 8 copies of that card. The Spirit Empress is really useful in this modifier because we need a lot of elixir to quickly get 3 stars on all of our units, and maybe even 4 stars if we're fast enough. That's because usually when you sell a card, you get its value minus 1 elixir. However, because the Spirit Empress gives you 2 elixir for free when you merge, merging and selling a 2 star gives you a net profit of 1 elixir. I'm just quickly going to be spamming this to get a ton of elixir, and then I'm going to start building up my strategy. Okay, so even though we've lost 5 HP, we now have a ton of elixir stockpiled in our storage and in our units, so I'll start setting up our strategy. My favorite setup is Rangers, so let's set that up. I'm just quickly buying and selling so I can keep gaining elixir as I go, but right now I'm just more focused on getting my units down. I also like to use Knight as a tank because he tanks well and also boosts my Ranger damage with the Noble buff. So we've now gotten 2 3 stars in the third round, which is really great pace. I'm not going to try to get 4 stars of our Rangers though, since if you look at my opponent's lineup, he's trying to use Rangers as well. So if he gets at least 1 copy of all of those cards, then I can only get 7 of each, which means that I'm not going to be able to get 4 stars of them. Instead, I'll just focus on leveling up some tanks for now. Our cards are so much higher level, so this should be an easy win here. Even though I know I can't get any 4 stars, I'm still holding some of my Rangers for an advanced technique called blocking. By holding a 3 star and a 1 star, I have 5 copies of those Ranger cards. That means that my opponent can only get 3 copies, and you need 4 to get a 3 star, so basically I'm preventing my opponent from getting enough to get 3 stars of their Ranger, which is a really good benefit for us. Apart from that, I'm just continuing to cycle my cards to try to level up my P.E.K.K.A. This round will be an easy victory since our cards are just so much higher. Right now I'm just trying to get a 4 star Knight and a 3 star Mega Knight. It doesn't really matter though, since because we use blocking, we have such a strong setup compared to the opponent that the win is almost guaranteed. Let's see how it plays out though. That was such a convincing round that we won with all 6 troops remaining. Good game, well played. Let's go play the next match. Heading into the next match, we have the dummy modifier, where we get elixir if it survives. Generally, because we can easily get elixir by using the Spirit Empress, but can't regenerate our HP, I like to use the dummy as a tank to protect HP on our Spirit Empress. As you can see, by using the dummy to tank, we saved our HP, and in terms of elixir, we already have a lot anyway. Now, I'm continuing to gain more elixir through Spirit Empress cycling while ensuring that I protect my HP for the later rounds. Now that we can have 4 units in round 3, I'm going to try setting up the 3 Rangers using the Knight as a tank. Since I already have all 4 clan units and the only unit that I could sell is the princess, I'm just going to use clan for now, since it's just as strong in my opinion. Great. Now, we still have as much elixir as we need, while also having preserved all of our lives. I'm going to keep upgrading my stuff, and we'll see how this next round goes. Our opponent also decided to use the dummy as a tank rather than 4 elixir, which is why he also has 10 lives. However, you can see he didn't prioritize elixir farming because he didn't get as much elixir as us. Therefore, we'll probably win this round comfortably, as well as the next rounds if he doesn't step up his game. Since our opponent is holding a copy of the Archer Queen, we can't get her to 3 stars. That means we'll need another damage dealer. Since we already have an archer for the ranger synergy, and the opponent isn't contesting it, I'm gonna go get some rangers. As you can see, it's important to prioritize your hit points so that way you don't go out early. However, at the same time, you need to be using Spirit Empress cycling so you don't fall behind in Elixir and lose the match. Good game. We're getting super close to Diamond League now. Alright, we're in the next match here with the Clear Mind modifier. I like to take advantage of this in the first few rounds when we don't have as much Elixir for Spirit Empress cycling. Also, this modifier only takes effect right before the next round starts, which means that you can keep cycling even when your troops are battling, and then just sell them right before the next round. Let's try to merge and get some more Elixir. Well, we got a bit unlucky and ran out of Elixir, but that's fine. We can try to gain some more in the next round. For now though, let's try to set up some good positioning to hopefully mitigate the lives lost in this round. And I think I'll also sell my Dart Goblin and Bomber, because even though I'll lose 2 Elixir by selling them early, I'll gain 2 Elixir from the Clear Mind modifier, which cancels out the loss, so it should be fine. Alright, it's already round 3 and we have barely any Elixir, so I'm going to try to focus on merging so that way we can get some Elixir to hopefully set up defense next round. But unfortunately we've already lost all of our merge potential because we've ran out of Elixir. I mean, we just have to have a good setup here and hope that we get lucky. Okay, so now we're on our last leg with the just 2 HP remaining. I decided to sell my Valkyrie and Barbarian for the same reason as I sold the Dark Goblin and Bomber last round. But now we have a lot of Elixir, thankfully, so hopefully we should get lucky and get some good merges. Let's see, though. Yeah, so finally, it looks like we might have enough Elixir to keep doing this and keep setting up a good setup. I think that Rangers might be decent here because even at a low level, they can still perform pretty well. So I'm going to try to get maybe 2 stars on some of the units, but if not, we'll just have to hope that we get lucky in this next round. Alright, thankfully we won that round. I won't lie that was kind of lucky, but at least it makes up for some of the horrible first rounds we had. Now that we have a lot of Elixir, we can try to make the Ranger setup. However, it looks like someone else is trying to use Rangers, so for now I will level up tanks and get extra Elixir in case we need to pivot strategies. Thankfully, we're up against the bot for this round. Alright, so someone got eliminated, but now our opponent is using Rangers as well. Given that we only have 2 hit points while he has 10, I don't really want to go into the mirror matchup as that would be really risky. Instead, I'm going to try to secretly set up assassins, since with the Goblin machine, that's a complete hard counter. Alright, great. If we sell the Archer, we'll have enough Elixir to get 2 and 3 stars of every assassin. It looks like he wasn't expecting that at all, which means that we might even have every single troop survive and take away 7 of his hit points. Let's see though. Alright, perfect. Let's go into the next round. Alright, we got lucky last round, but this time, he's placing all of his troops to counter our assassins. However, he's clumped up all of his rangers in the back. Maybe we can use the Goblin machine plus Princess to splash all of them down, since they both target the farthest away troop. Let's see how that plays out. And that would be really cool if it works. Alright, even though I didn't have any time to swap out the Golden Knight or the Goblin, it looks like we're still going to win this round. Let's go. That was a really cool match. We're just a few games away from Diamond League now. Here, we've got the bigger team modifier. Also, we're just 1 first place away from Diamond League, so hopefully we win this one. I think it's really important in these first few rounds to get a lot of Elixir, so that way we can take full advantage of the extra slot in our team. I think it's better to sell some of our troops to merge the Golden Knight, so that way we can sell him and get more Elixir to merge. I'm not going to sell the Bomber though, because even though we would have the Ranger synergy, we can still win this round pretty comfortably, and I'd rather save the Bomber so that we can merge it later potentially. Alright, that round was a little closer than I thought, but thankfully we still won. I'm going to sell the bomber here, so that way we can merge the archer, which leads to merging the goblin machine, which gives us a lot of elixir. Alright, thankfully we have the archer here, and now we have a good setup with all 3 rangers. Alright, even though we're going to be using the princess in our comp, I think we need to sell her because otherwise we won't have enough elixir to merge the rest of our units. If we hadn't sold her, we would have had her level 2, but everything else would have been level 1. However, as you can see, because we sold her, now we have level 2 on almost all of our units, which is going to lead to a much better endgame for us. Alright, we're top 2. So if we beat this guy, we're going to be in Diamond League. I'm kind of nervous, but let's see. It looks like he's not using any rangers, so I'll try to level them up right now. Okay, yeah, so we have a decent amount of elixir. However, we don't have the perfect comp, so we might not get him out this round. However, next round should be more comfortable. Alright, so I think our opponent is trapping some of our units. It's fine though, I'll do the same with his Mega Knight and with his Executioner. Also, if we use them, we can get the Ace buff anyway, so that'll be really useful. But I'm really excited, because if we win this round, I'll finally be Diamond League. And yeah, that's just really exciting. It seems like he's trapping our units, so I'm not going to worry about it that much. We should have more than enough firepower with the Dark Goblin with the Ace buff, so let's see. Okay, yeah, I think we should win this one. I'm really excited. Oh my goodness. This is really good. Alright, good game. Oh my gosh, finally. Finally, I'll be in Diamond League. This animation is taking so long, but first place. Okay, great. And we're top 10,000 too. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.